Welcome to SOULutions, where men come out of the shadows to testify, giving tips in manhood, honor the codes of integrity, and give out real solutions for soul survival. Today, we have on the show a lightning rod of music, vibration, and inspiration, a man who is a lover of tradition, community, and family values. His superpowers can suspend racism, classism, ageism in a matter of seconds with the sound of his voice. A success maker, a man of action, a man of valor and integrity. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the singer, songwriter, producer, Mr. Bernard himself, Cupid.
How you doing, my man?
What's going on, brother? I'm good, brother. How are you? You good?
Doing good down here in good old Louisiana.
Louisiana, yes, down there. Louisiana, man. Listen, I love Louisiana, man. That's a great place. It's a great place. Are you ready to drop these gems and answer these questions today?
I can't wait, bro.
All right, you ready?
Let's go. Let's get it.
Let's do this. What person did you meet or see that gave you the drive towards the man you are today? Who or what defined you?
Career-wise, 2007, August 2007, I met Steve Harvey for the first time. And we actually became friends, man. He took me on the road with him for 2 years. And watching him utilize his blessings to help other people and put so many people on and get people out of situations that they shouldn't be in, and his advice. And then watching him blow up to the Steve Harvey he is now, because of that, you could see he deposited so much into so many people that God blessed him overwhelmingly. So to see that lets you know that, if you help people and you use what you have to help people, man, God's gonna bless you abundantly. So he's watching his progression and being under his tutelage, man, that was probably the biggest career influence of my life.
Absolutely. Steve Harvey is an amazing character. He's always giving inspirational tips and pushing people to jump without thinking about the process. They just know that God is going to trust you. Talk to me about something he told you intimately that grew you as a person, like a gem he gave you. And also talk to me about what grew you to get to him. Outside of the music, your character had to be developed to make sure you're on the same frequency to run into a Steve Harvey. So what put you in that situation? And let me know also, what did he give you that grew you?
Well, the one thing he told me was to stay true to myself, And he told me, you can't just look the part. At the time, he was like, if you want to be a star and look like a star, you gotta be a star. Like, if you want to, anything you want to reach, you got to believe it and live it before it even happens. And that's the only way it's going to manifest itself. So, at the time I was working on a fitness DVD called Q-Robics. It was line dance aerobics, but I wasn't in the best shape. So he, when I brought the idea to him, he hit me with that. And it made me realize, like, I got on my fitness crazy and put this DVD out, and we do almost about 5,000 to 10,000 units a year just off line dance aerobics. But it was because he told me, you're not even ready to do that. You don't look the part. That was something that really stuck with me. And this is with anything, when you walk on that stage, when you out promoting yourself or doing whatever, you can't say, you got to look the part. You got to believe, and you got to make people believe it, because actually people's manifestation is actually a part of yours. When people believe you're something, then it kind of like, when two or more are gathered together, that's where the growth comes in. So, that was one of the biggest things for me, man. And I live by that today, man.
People's manifestation is yours also. Yeah, that's a great gem, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that wholeheartedly. At your core, who do you say you are?
I'm a regular guy that makes music for people to just have a good time. That's it. I mean, my job on this planet is to use my voice, use my energy to make people feel good. That's it.
Hey, that's perfect. Do you have a vision board?
Oh yeah, I do.
Absolutely, that's great. If you can give us one apex goal.
Oh yes, and
if you can give us one apex goal on your vision board that you achieved, and one apex goal that you're currently chasing.
I developed my own fragrance line, Bells and Bows. I always wanted to do that. My cousin is a chemist, and we worked out a plan and got it done. It took us 7 years to do.
Hey.
Also, man, one big one is when I prayed for my record deal, my specific word was, God, just give me something to be able to do music for the rest of my life. So that's what I have. Like, Cupid Shuffle can get me in any door, any place, anywhere in the country, timeless. So I specifically have that. And my ultimate goal is just to be able to go the rest of my life, like free, like deflecting temptation at a high rate, and doing things the right way. I learned quickly in my life that like the energy you put out is what you get. So sometimes, like, when you're doing wrong, you can't expect right. And sometimes we try to trick ourselves, but the universe ain't gonna let you trick it. So I've been doing a lot of good things right, a lot of good things positive, man. Get married at the this year and stuff. And I was married before, but it's just you get the energy you get, and you give. And the energy I've been getting is because I've been doing well. So I'm just trying to continuously chase being a good person all the way around.
Absolutely. It's a lot of hard work to be a good person. And you are right. God gave you a UPS uniform on your career. You can go anywhere you want at any time and deliver, right? And I think that's the greatest thing to have. What type of affirmations are you telling yourself every day to continue being this good person? Because once you start doing something for the better, trials and tribulations come even harder and harder and harder and harder and different to decipher to try to break your code.
For me, my affirmation, man, is just, I know what good gets you. Like, I know what good gets me. Like, because I've been a good person all my life, and I've seen, a lot of my friends who do music not have the opportunities and put in the situation that I've been. So I know that's only from the, heavens above. So I know what it is to have negative karma, and I know what it is to have positive karma. So when you know that, it kind of like makes you think about when you're going to do something that you ain't supposed to be doing. Like, okay, I could do it in the dark, but I can't hide from the universe. And knowing that is kind of what makes you be like, I know what good is going to get me. I know what it is. So just keep doing what you're supposed to do, and you're going to get that good,
Absolutely. Absolutely. How early did you start goal setting with intent?
High school, man. I remember my freshman year, there was a girl I used to like. Her name was, I think, Elizabeth McGlory. Yep. And she was so tough, man, but she was into street dudes, but I ain't really know nothing. I was like a sheltered guy, right? And I figured that if I played ball, but I figured if I played varsity and I was in the newspaper all the time, she might think I was, So at my school, you didn't start varsity unless you was a junior or senior. And going into my 10th grade year, I was like, nah. So I went out there and I was like, there's this kid, he played wide receiver, took his position, balled out, 3-year starter. Of course, I don't know what happened to Liz, but my goal in my mind was, I'm going to start over this kid no matter what. And I told him, I remember he was a senior. I was like, dude, I'm going to take your position. And everybody like, oh, I was like, nah, I'm like, for real, like, and I just had it on my mind. So I would pull tires every day, sprint every day, jog to school, jog back, and jog to school, work out during the summer, and come back. And ever since then, man, I've always been the type of person, like, you might be more talented than me, you might have better looks, you might whatever, but you cannot outwork me. It's impossible. And that's kind of like how I am now, even like getting my record deal with I coming out of Lafayette. I had to bust my butt to make that happen. And so it's high school was when it started, man, when I was playing ball, no doubt.
I believe that success is a frequency. And I think every time I do an interview, I'm trying to tap into that frequency to resonate it with the people who are listening and resonate it back and forth for the person I'm talking to. I believe your valor and your integrity and your will to focus is the reason you are the man you are today. Outside of your talents, outside of your favor, it was already in you, your character, to be that way. And I believe that's one of the major things that got you to a Steve Harvey, because he embodies those same things. And then when you met the mentor, he challenged you. And then you was like, okay, I'm up for that. Are you kidding me? I didn't know I needed that. I got this. And a lot of people can get recipes, but that don't mean they're going to go into the kitchen and apply them in the pot. And
Man.
that's one of the greatest things you did, like applying and starting and recognizing, yeah, I can be better. And I applaud you for that. And on the flip side, women make us do the craziest things. They have no idea how much we love challenges. And women listening, challenge
Facts.
us. We love
Facts.
challenged. We don't baby us. Don't take care of us. Leave us out there to dry and let us and challenge us. And I'm guaranteed the one who is right for you will meet every challenge you put in his way.
Facts.
Continuously throughout their lifetime. Just keep challenging us because we love it.
Yeah,
We
man.
absolutely love it. Along that road of you deciding, I am going to be first place. I am going to be a starter, varsity. I am going to venture out. I am going to have a music career. It's one of the hardest things to do in the world because you don't know who is going to love you, who are your friends around you. Oh, they want you to stay as you were. They probably want you to be a wide receiver your whole life. They didn't want you to be a musician. Tell me along that road, what did you sacrifice?
Man, truth be told, man, just to being super transparent, like, I was married, and I just remember, like, before my son was born, like, I was just relentless. Like, I got to get to this goal. I got to get to this music business. And then when I got signed, I remember just like your competition goes from the local dude down the street to Chris Brown, Usher. Like, you on the same charts with these cats.
Mhm.
And the one thing I learned probably like a couple of years after I signed and going through both was I mastered the art of balance, and that's what I didn't have. So I wasn't balancing my 8/8 and 8s. I wasn't, and
Wait, do me a
and that,
favor. Let's break down that real quick because so many men who are entrepreneurs or not, or they work for corporations, we all struggle with success, right? We want success because in our eyes, we're being successful for our kids or our counterparts or building a legacy for our future endeavors. But the people whom are in our circle watching us, they think we don't care. They think that's all we care about. You say you learn balance. Give us a goal. Give us a gem that something we can put towards what you did to help us get that balance.
well, God specifically made Earth into 24 hours, and 24 divided by
24 divided by 3, absolutely. Hold on one second. You're going in and out. I can't hear you. I'm not sure why. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Hold on one second. No, it's probably not you. It's probably not you. It might be something over on the side. 1 second.
I hear you good, like you
Okay,
good.
yeah,
Like,
it was my. I'm sorry. It was my internet connection. Excuse me. Please go right ahead.
okay. So back to the 8s, like
Yes.
it's specifically designed because 8 is for work, 8 is for leisure, and 8 is for sleep.
Mm.
And you have to be able to fit, like, when Steve, one thing I disagree with Steve about, when he was like, rich people don't sleep. It's like, maybe so, but people with mental issues and people with family issues and people with social issues tend to be rich. You have to be able to balance them. And for me, man, I didn't balance my family. So I ended up, getting a divorce because it was kind of like, like she didn't understand and I couldn't get her to understand, and it just really wasn't working out. So our frequencies just weren't on the same. But I also learned that if you don't sleep, you get sick. Your body begins to do things that it ain't supposed to do because you're not giving it the proper rest. And then socially, you have to be able to have hours of leisure in order to be able to spend with your family and your friends, so that you're not, like a social, like you're not socially, like, dysfunctional. So I learned balance quick, man. And of course, rich in my eyes is happiness. So when you're making enough money, it's cool, but spend time with your family. Don't take that show. Don't take that concert. Don't take, and stay home and be with your family if you can afford to do it. Those things are important, man.
Absolutely. Could you repeat those three things for the 8, 8, and 8 one more time for our listeners?
Correct, man. 8 hours is for sleep, 8 is for leisure, and 8 is to work. You know, that's why people work 8 hour days. You know, after that, you know.
Yeah. What do you suggest for leisure for someone like yourself who has such a energy consuming lifestyle? People want to pull from you
Man,
constantly.
sit down with your kids, sit down with your girl, sit down with your dude, relax, watch TV. You know, leisure don't necessarily have to be like traveling and vacation. It could be just sitting down on the couch and just like kicking it. You gotta have that, man, because what you're gonna do is you're not gonna be able to create enough memories to be able to satisfy you later on in life because you haven't done much. You just worked. Like people who work their whole life, you know, I've seen people like that, 50, 60 years old, that don't really have enough memories to account for because they've been pounding the pavement for so long. Their body's beaten up, they can barely move. You know, they're living like they're struggling because they didn't balance. They didn't take the time to balance. So the biggest thing for me that's helped me out, like to make me like a very like self-happy person and a very self-centered, I mean, like just that I got self-oriented person to where I understand, like, I understand what my time, the time of day consists of is balance, man.
You know, the most interesting thing to me that you just said just now was the fact that you work and you lose time. I can't remember how many times I've been on stage or performed or anything, and that all you forget all of it after a while. You just was there, and you just have moments where that would you remember something significant to you, but for the thousands of people you've been in front of, it's a wash for you. But the family moments you remember forever. For me, and to relate for
Right.
your aspect and what you're saying, 1,000%. From the artist standpoint, for both of us, we both did a show together. We both seen these things, and I, it's a lot of moments I just don't remember. And you are 1,000% right about that. And I remember all the time spending and laughing with my friends more than I do the time I spent on stage performing.
Facts.
There's a lot of gems to that. Let's dive a little deep here. I want to talk to you about your lowest moment. And I just don't want to know about your lowest moment. I want to know how you got up. This is for the people right now that might be struggling with something, but it's about how you got up. Can you talk to me about your lowest moment, but how did you get up?
My lowest public moment was when I did that show, The Voice. A lot of people don't know what happened on the backside of it, but from the TV side of it, it looked real crazy because nobody turned around. And I remember having to deal with being, you know, on the Breakfast Club, Donkey of the Day, and all the homies, you know, with clowning down there, you know, oh man, but they didn't know what really happened. And I remember, like, I know what happened as far as the contractual situation and the reason why they didn't allow me to advance on the show. But what I took from that was I went on a show and let those people make it look like I was disrespecting my blessing. And that's what made me get up off the ground because I was like, I'm sorry, God, my fault. Like, you know, you go on The Voice. I was like, you know, I really want people to know that I could really sing. But that's not always God's plan. Like, God gave me a song that allows me to be able to perform forever. And I went on the show and allowed those producers, you know, through the misconstruing of how they, you know, Hollywood, they can make something look a certain type of way. It looked like I was just denouncing the shuffle. And that wasn't right, man. So God made it to where, nah, man, you're not gonna disrespect something I gave to you to, you know, take you, you know, to take care of you the rest of your life. So I got up after that, man. I did the neighborhood awards with Steve Harvey in Vegas, and man, I shot out like a rocket. And I was like, I'll never disrespect any blessing I get again.
The recipe is to acknowledge the tool belt that you have already and go with that. Stop trying to expand because
Yeah.
you have superpowers already. Just work on those superpowers. So you basically did goal setting to get yourself out of the situation. And I respect that. And I appreciate you sharing that with us today. When you're dealing with such a public infraction, I think that the people who come to your aid and the people who joke on you really show that they've been waiting for you to ascend from where you were. So
Facts.
now, how much did it help you to evaluate the grass when it was cut low? How much did it help you to do that? Like, what did you see?
Man, I mean, for me, it was the most humbling experience ever, because it's one thing to be like told by your friends that they don't like that you did something crazy, but bro, when you get like millions of tweets and just people all over the place, dog, that you in different languages, man, I'm like,
not
I don't
different
even know,
languages.
dog. And if I told y'all that the reason why was because I didn't want to sign my rights to the Cupid Shuffle over to The Voice, y'all wouldn't believe me, because y'all so tunnel vision of what you see on TV. And
I
you know,
that either. I wouldn't do that.
Dude,
Absolutely
that's
not.
a whole nother story for a whole nother day, bro.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I understand the business. No, I wouldn't have did that.
I'm like, nah, man. Like, yeah, you can get on the show, you can advance, but we need you to sign this document. And that document said we own your publishing forward and backward. And I'm like, man, gotta be out your mind.
No, sir.
No.
Sam Cooke, help me. No, sir.
Yo, for real, right?
In the powers of Sam Cooke, no, sir. So I believe you did the right thing, brother. But tell the truth and shame the devil does not mean you don't get rotten apples thrown at you.
Facts. Pure facts. That's facts. That's real, bro. I had.
Oh man, my internet is
oranges.
Yeah.
Water, whatever you can think of. It came at me, bro. Every fruit rotten.
But the moral of the story to me is they came at you rotten fruit, apples, oranges, Kool-Aid, whatever they were, Jello, whatever they wanted to throw at you, thought was stick. But then you got washed and polished right back off by the same person who believed in you in the first place.
Facts.
So go where you're celebrated, man. That's one of the biggest morals of the story. Go where you're celebrated. When you start stepping out and you don't realize what type of smiles that sharks have, it can be very, very tricky situation. But let's move on. Let's have some fun, sir. What have you procrastinated on and why?
Okay, so this might sound crazy, but the one thing that I know for sure is I procrastinated on going to see Jasmine Sullivan in concert.
She's a hot ticket right now, ladies and gentlemen. Like every love some music right now. I mean, dudes too, but I know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to testify. I live in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. There are teachers who are from America here that when that album, New Music, came out with Her and Her, oh man, listen, they were going crazy over here with the lyrics.
I'm a day one. I'm a day one fan, bro. I'm a day one fan, man. I've been like, man, that chick's so cold. And I've had times to see her in concert. And then when the pandemic hit, I had tickets. And then they just, so I'm like, why I didn't go see her for Essence? Why I didn't go do, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's one of my things that's sticking in my mind, because like I'm waiting for the new tour dates. But I guess something else, man, is that I procrastinated, that I've been procrastinating on a long time is writing a book.
Absolutely.
And I did another Zoom earlier, and I told the lady the same thing. I was like, it's coming, because I got so much stuff people don't know about when it comes to this song and my career that they would be blown away to hear.
One can put into reality is when you have the dopest pair of sneakers, everybody wants them. And that's what I equate to, not to belittle what it is, but it's a simplistic form. It's like, you got the freshest jacket at high school. Where'd you get that jacket from, man? Let me wear it. Oh, no, you got the best bicycle. Hey, man, I'm going to bring it right back. Can I ride it for a little while? You want to sign this bike over to me, man? I don't think you're going to take care of it, take it where it needs to go. Nah, you believing in yourself is a determining X factor, and I appreciate you and I applaud you. Let me ask you this, though. How important is it to leave where you're from to develop yourself to where you're going?
Well, man, leave where you're from. I'll take that as in, I won't use it
spiritually, mentally, and physically.
Physically, crazy enough, I still live in the same place, like not same place, but same city that I grew up in. Not the same house, of course, but I think that people don't understand the level of opportunities, man, everywhere else, especially when you're stuck in a spot. Like, they got people over here that never been to Houston, never been to New York, never been to LA. And there's just so many dots you can connect when you move around, and you have to do that in order for the dots to actually connect to make the drawing, bro. You can't stay in one spot on a connected dot board and create the drawing. So I just feel that, like, you have to be able to network, meet people, go through ups, go through downs, diagonals. I mean, everywhere you want to go to create the painting, bro. And it's just like a connected dot puzzle, man. My publicist, the name of her company is Dot Connect Corp, and it's named that because she was like, I'm going to connect the dots for all my clients to be able to be successful.
I think the absolute most important thing that you referenced to is connecting the dots and getting your own narrative. Like, you can be from the South, you can be from the North, you can be from the East, the West. But if you allow what you see in the media and other people tell you what people are like in a certain area, and you never go challenge the narrative for yourself, then you'll never grow in that aspect as well. Can you tell me one moment where you were ignorant to a situation of meeting a certain area of people and then it changed for you when you got your own narrative? Or has there ever been that situation?
Man, not really, because living here, in Louisiana, we're a melting pot of different cultures.
Absolutely.
I've always been super duper intrigued about, like, I'm a big fan of that Florida music, but not I want to hear the underground dudes. I want to hear the go-go. I want to hear the hyphy. I want to hear the juke music in Florida. That's what I be wanting to hear, because I'm intrigued by other cultures so much. So I never really had that issue, because, man, I crave new sounds and stuff that might be old to a person in Florida. For me, I'm like, oh my God, this is the hottest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Right. Absolutely.
Everybody hears things different. So when I hear it, it triggers something in me to want to create something similar, but not the same, of course, but I hear it different. So, I think that the best ideas come from is new culture and new stuff.
Absolutely. Some of the best ideas in culture. I remember when I first I've been traveling my whole life. My mom is from the South. My dad is from New York, but I have family everywhere. But when we first started to go down South, when I started to recognize the difference in music, how they would carry their boom boxes and have like the slowed, chopped and screwed music. And I'm like, it was like the same record. It was the same record I was listening to back in New York, but it was just like, let's say it was hip hop hooray. We're like, hip hop hooray. Oh, hey. It was just slowed down. I was like, oh, what is it? It was like, yo, is that I'm like, how did you do that? And it was just amazing it grew me in so many ways. Maybe I didn't know it at the moment, but it added to my lexicon, it added to my tool belt. And I think that's what traveling really does to you, whether you know it or not. You start taking these new experiences. But, some of the down parts of traveling is, talk to me about this. The down parts of traveling, where you're Cupid. You're now Cupid. Everybody's dancing, everybody's singing your songs, people are flying you out, bring you here, bring you there. Did you start to lose conversations with your friends, ones who could not see exactly the things? Or do you just generously having conversations about your life? Because this is your life now. Like, there's a point where people brag, but there's also a point where this is my life. Like, I have friends that I try to speak to about moments in my life. Let's say, hey, I did a show with Cupid. Why are you bragging? You ever had that situation happen to you where it's like, no, I'm not bragging, man. This is my life.
Well, I got the same friends, bro.
Yeah.
For 20 years, man. And most of them come on the road with me. Like,
that's good. That's good.
So it's never really been that. And I just feel like if somebody's bringing that energy, then you really don't want to see me grow. Like, if you telling me that's bragging, then nah, like, if you my friend, you supposed to be excited about that and sharing that experience. I ought to be able to bounce that off of you. So those people like that ain't really friends. They just hanging around just to hang around. But no true friend going to ever tell you that, man. And like, they'll be happy for you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Some of your day ones are there for you to the end. And as long as you recognize it, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to bring up that scenario to just whoever somebody might be listening. Like, that's where you get your source from sometimes when you beat up, is the ones who known you before you had everything you had, and they can the one that's going to keep you grounded, and the one that's always going to chastise you, and the one that's always going to joke on you no matter how high you get.
Yeah, yeah. I got a few of them.
You got a few of them.
Yeah, my boy, you could do anything. I could get a platinum plaque, and then the next day it'd be like, all right, cool. But look you, but whatever.
Yeah. Look at
So,
yeah, all types of just weird stuff. And they'll say it in front of important people. You be like, man, come on, man, relax right now.
yeah.
Come on. Let me be great. But it's in a good way. Now I have this question. You are the number 16th person I'm gonna ask this question. Now, there's two things about this question. I think it's intrusive. So what I say is, if you don't want to answer it, you don't have to, right? But I also would like you to let me know if I should keep the question or omit the question. Are you ready? Are you ready for the question?
Oh yeah.
What was abusive to you that you thought was love? How did you recognize it? How long did it take for you to accept it? What was abusive to you that you thought was love? How did you recognize it? How long did it take for you to accept it?
Abrasion of privacy, man. When you with a female or whatever relationship, I wrote this song called Cell Phone Blues back in the day. Got a cool video for it too. And man, like I thought it was like when somebody loves you, they own you all the time. So like, where you going, what you doing, what, going through your phone, and this, just the overwhelming type of like, that was abuse for me, because I'm like, I could never be Cupid. I had to be a different person, because, I didn't want my significant to think, oh, why he taking a picture? Why he this? Why he that? Going through the phone. It ain't nothing but, calling my buddies, calling numbers you didn't know and stuff like that. And I thought that was just like, a person love you so much, they just want to just make sure you're not doing nothing. But when I realized that if you were the person who doing that, then either two things. One, they trying to get out and get something on you to bounce, or two, that's abuse. And stayed in that a while, man. Because I it was no trust. So I just think that a lack of trust, man, is a very abusive thing to two people. Because if you don't trust that person, you're beating yourself up every day with questions that probably don't even exist. Then that's like something I learned quickly, man. Is that lack of trust is definitely a high level of abuse.
So two things real quick. Would you say there was a form of self-love that played a part in it? And how did you handle that energy? What did you do for someone who might be in a situation? How did you dismiss that energy?
I can tell you that if you don't trust the person you with, it's not gonna work. It's just it's just no other way to live a happy life and be in a happy relationship if you don't trust the person. Think about it, man. Like, imagine being in a jail cell with a dude you don't trust. You ain't gonna be able to sleep good. It don't matter like what you do, what's going on. Like, dude might dap you up, cool, boom, boom, but when you would in your relationship with whatever it is, man. If she not all the way dialed in and trust you, and the same, man, that's abusive, because you're gonna start doing things that's gonna cause conflict, and the conflict elevates. So, I say for people, like you say, advice for somebody is look, evaluate it and see if that's something you really want to do. I know that's always a tough.
I get the evaluation part, but can you give us like a form? How do you think a man could walk away from it? Do you take it to dinner, sit it down, and say, you know what, this ain't working, and get out of there? Does he plan his exit before he makes his statement?
Man, it ain't no handcuffs on nobody. Like, people, there's this invisible rope that hold people in relationships because of longevity, because of situations, and all of that stuff. But you're compromising your happiness, and it's not like you guaranteed a whole bunch of days on this earth to be able to redo it later. Like, if it's not working, it ain't working, bro. And that's like trying to fit a square peg in a round circle. You can just do it for so long until it ain't gonna work. And I watch so many people do that for so long, man. It's trying to find the equally yoked person. But if you find yourself getting your phone searched through, you know, she throwing things, you throwing things getting broken. There's no compromise. It's a bad recipe, man. And I think that's abuse, man. I really do. You know, I've said some things to certain people that I got into arguments with that I regret, but I abused them. I know what I said was abuse. I know, because it was supposed to be that. That's what I wanted it to be. And that ain't good, man. That's not good for the soul, bro.
Absolutely. It's not good for the
Bounce,
soul.
man. Bounce, dog. Bounce. Don't stay.
Don't
Bounce.
stay.
Straight up.
Find your happiness straight up. Now, I want to do something where I call audible. This is not on my questionnaire list. This is something I directly can only ask you, in my opinion. Now, this has nothing to do with manhood. This has everything to do with music and what people do not recognize outside of the South. Me living in the South for 10 years, there is a type of music that goes around unbeknownst. They perform. You can say it's the Chitlin circuit. Talk to the people about Sugar Shack music.
So
nobody knows about. Now, keep in mind, we're talking to the world right now. People do not know. It's not on the charts. It's not charting, but people are making an absolute living. There are famous people. You ain't got to be famous, but there are people out there living off Sugar Shack music. Please let us know what that is and talk about it right now.
So we would consider Sugar Shack music the underground version of blues. It would be the underground, like you got backpack rap, you got industry rap, you got blues, and then you got the Sugar Shack music is what they call it, right? And in this music, I've literally seen it for myself because I do that type of music at times. 30 to 40,000 people at these festivals listening to songs that have never played on the radio, ever, singing word for word.
Only get it on YouTube if you can.
And you might get it on YouTube. You ain't no
telling. If you can, don't tell it.
They will press up 100 CDs, compact discs, remember, CDs, and sell them all. Yeah. And have t-shirts laid out and sell them all. Like, it's underground blues, man. And it is something powerful.
It is beyond powerful. I remember my stint as a DJ. And, you know, I think I used to call you on my Instagram and say, look, I'm playing your song and these kids are dancing to it, right? And then it became a point where they was like, you got Tucker? And I was like, who's Tucker? Right?
Yeah.
And then I dive deep into Sugar Shack music. And I loved it, man. It was just, I'm going back to the Sugar Shack. It's just a vibe. And I couldn't find this music anywhere. Like, you couldn't get it from DJ pools. You had to go in and talk to an older person who had a CD, pull them records off that CD, and just dig dive. And that's why you said cell phone blues. Absolutely. Like, I'm on that, right? I get what you're talking about when you say that. And with my father-in-law, he's 80-something years old. Man, he knows all the Sugar Shack records. This man don't listen to the radio. What I'm telling you is just, it connected us.
Yeah.
And this is all through Texas, Louisiana, the South. Sugar Shack music is amazing. So I just wanted to do a pivot right there for everyone to go check out some Sugar Shack music. You now can find them online. There's one of my favorite songs called "Hell No" to the no. Hell no. Yeah, so it can really about the preacher man going off in the church real quick, and it's a novelty.
Yeah, Bishop Bullwinkle is a trip, bro.
Bishop Bullwinkle, exactly. Talk to me about fatherhood, but I don't want to talk about fatherhood that is beautiful. Oh, my kid came out, it changed my life. I want to talk about the moments where you love your kid, but I don't like you right now. Talk to me about the patience you need to have as a father.
I don't have no patience, bro. My son, he know what it like. He'll make all A's, bro, and then one day he'll be like, I just forgot to do this assignment and have a 0. So now you done drop your grade like 2 letters down. Mm-hmm. And man, I don't play with him, bro. I bring him into the chamber, bro, and he get it, and he know, like, hey man, I can't have patience with you because like, you need to understand, like, it's a zero. You're killing yourself. You're shooting yourself in the foot, and you can't do that in real life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You can't decide to be at work one day and just say, you know what, I'm not going to, do A, B, and C, and then the whole warehouse, blow up or catch on fire because of your silliness and your lack. You can't be that way. And so I'm always on his tail with that, bro. Now I got 2 step kids on the way. That I met like in the past 2 years. They gonna give me hell. They gonna give me hell, cause mine know how I rock and roll from birth.
Right.
So no, man. Look, I don't even plan to play with him, but the other 2, they don't got no kind of. They come from a different tree, dog. So
yeah, talk to me about the feeling of being a bonus dad. You're basically a bonus dad. You're someone who can bring your life experiences, but first the trust has to be built. It's all types of things that has to happen there. Tell me your perspective of it.
Well, man, for my situation, they 8 and 6, and so their dad, he lives like way on the East Coast, like far away. So I'm with him a lot more, and being a divorcee, I try to make sure that they respect him. That's your dad, that's him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Mr. Bryson, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna handle you, based on the parameters of your mama.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give y'all love and I'm gonna treat y'all right, man, and everything. But y'all, I try to make sure that the gateway to their dad is open, and I don't step in between that, because he far away, he do what he do, but that's still like it's biological. Because I know if the shoe on the other foot, man, ain't nobody finna, try to say in front of me and mine. So
absolutely.
I try to be fair with it, bro, and just give him some love and everything the same way.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, nobody should come into that relationship that is a kinship and a rights of passage that if we're lucky to have it, then we shouldn't block it blessings whatsoever. I want to ask you a question that I love asking men on this show because I love to hear the most interesting stories behind it. Now, this question, I bring it up because I just want to bring awareness to see if we actually start invoking these conversations amongst our kids, which I hope will make some changes for the better where we are now, especially with the way sex is sensationalized and everything we got going on through everything. It's not music anymore. We can't just blame music. It's everywhere. It's on our commercials, it's on our TVs, it's on our shirts, it's on our mouths, it's everything. They have us. They have the whole thing going on. Did you ever get a sex talk? Who or what gave you sex education?
No, man. Man, my homeboy, I got my first porn VHS tape. I exchanged it for a Jose Canseco and a Mark McGuire baseball card.
Wait a minute. That was a bad exchange.
Oh, dog. But no, it wasn't just one tape. It was like a big trash bag full, dog.
Okay,
like I was
we're talking about, we're talking about variety.
I was loaded, dog. I was loaded. I had all the 1970 classics.
Classics.
Where he got from, bro, but and that's where I saw what it was, man. I mean, through that, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. Like my pops wasn't trying to talk about it.
Why do you think?
Oh, dog.
Why do you think we
straight up?
Why do we run from that? Why do we run from the most natural thing? The reason I bring the question up because there's a lot going on with governments being inside our relationships, right?
Yeah.
A lot of guys are suffering. They can't even stand up because they got this child support or they got this situation. And I'm just speaking from the men's perspective. I know there are a lot of bad guys out there, but also a lot of good guys. So I'm just speaking from the perspective of if we had, I feel if we started with the respect of women and more communication, I think a lot of us won't be in those situations, but we get a lot of information from our counterparts. Like, stick your finger in your ear and see the wax in your ear and test it. Like what is some of the weirdest things you heard before you got those tapes? Like what kind of things like, hey man, you ain't a man if you ain't got.
You going to hell. You have sex, you going to hell. It was hell. It was no go straight past, go straight to hell. Or you would get a disease, you would get sick, your stuff would burn off. I heard all of that stuff, man, and now, man, as a dad, bro, look, bro, me and my son, he gonna be 13 this year. Shit, everything, I'm telling him, like,
How did that conversation go? Did you go straight in or did you use the birds and the bees?
Oh no, man, no birds and no bees, cause I was going through his phone and his partner had sent him a picture of something, and I was like, you know what that is? No, I said, you lie. Come here.
You went
Hey,
full.
man, listen.
You went in
Yeah,
full.
I was like, bro, look. I said, what you can't do about women is lie to me. Like, so I'm gonna teach you everything you need to know. And if you got a question, I don't want you to be nervous. And now I went through all the names. It's called blank, blank, blank. It could be referred to as blank and this. Like I kept it real. And I'm like, come to me. I was like, because I can't have nobody else teaching you something that I know the best of. Like I know. But you know, a lot of times as kids, you know, we don't even have that dialogue because parents, you know, they never really like made us feel as though if we talk to them, we wouldn't get punched in the throat, you know? Like, or you know, like, what you talking to me about that for? Like, I personally, I felt like I couldn't do that. And even if I could have, my dad didn't let me know I could. So with him, I'm like, look, man, you can't do this, you can't do this because you know, this the age. But I talked to him about it, man, because dude, listen, you might not think your child know, but they know. It ain't no
They know a
nothing.
lot. They know a lot. And the thing about it is, I want to let my son know. He's only 3 now, but I will let him know in the future that how fun it is and what he's gonna want to go back to the pot and get more honey as much as he can. But it has to be
Yeah,
some type of resistance mentally where he starts thinking about how much this honey might be getting in the way of his work or how much this honey might impede his process of success, because it can, right? Because it's a fun theme park to stop at, but you only go to theme parks every once in a while. You can't be there all day. You know, you start getting hot, you get this tan, you get it's like, you know, you get
man,
dehydrated. There's a lot of things happen if you're at a theme park when it's too hot all the time. Like you're not making no
man,
money being there. It's a lot. It's a lot.
bro.
It's a lot going on. I mean, you can enjoy it. You can ride every ride, but understand is sometimes you got to go.
But you gotta be this tall to get to on the ride first, dog.
Yeah.
You gotta meet that requirement before you hop on the ride, dog. You gotta be at that. If you ain't at that level yet, you can't get on it. That's for
And
sure.
every ride has a seat belt. Remember that. Let's keep it a buck. Every ride, there's nobody ride without seatbelts. If anybody tell you any different, then you might
Bro.
fall off. You might fall off into a situation you don't want to be in. Should
Yeah,
there be
man.
should there be a basic training program amongst men, a level of education given out, excuse me, where we have financial literacy programs, communication, how to change a tire, gardening, general wealth building, stocks and real estate talk, and elderly teaching with intent? And what I mean by that is, if you and I were neighbors and we were just in our community and we know we have these demanding lives, but we understood stocks or we understood how to change a tire, the neighborhood together would then have these rhetorics of talk of our kids being excited about stocks, them being knowledgeable and having basic levels of information outside of the school system, outside of Boys and Girls Club, outside of the church. But it's like a community, a tribe building thing. You ever think we could implement anything like that in our communities?
Steve does it, man, when he does his mentoring camp he used to do. It has to that was taken away for us years ago for us not to be powerful. So I think that has to be done, even if it's not necessarily in a class environment, selectively, individually, and that's something that every man should have under their belt, is those simple things. Because, bro, like, you know, at the end of the day, man, you save a lot of money being able to do a lot of different things. And I think that especially African American boys, man, we born with just so much skill and talent, and we don't tap into it because we're told to do one thing in one degree in one career, and that's all you can be. And I feel that now, man, like you gotta be, you know, just multifaceted, man, talented in all levels. So I agree. You know, I learned a lot of that stuff late in my career and in my life, and especially the taxes part.
Right.
Now I'm a guru because like I get it, but they don't teach you that, man. They teach you about how the Indians and the Pilgrims got together and high-fived one day over some ham, and they teach you that mess, but they don't teach you the things that you need when you step out and they give you a candy bar to sign a paper, and then you got a loan for $10,000 you didn't even know in college. That's what they do. So nah, man, that literacy has to change. And I mean, I know I teach mine, like, and you know, and even like the little kids on my AAU basketball team, we talk about stuff like that all the time because they need to know, you know.
They need to know in passing. But what I'm saying is like, for example, Lean on Me. Was it Lean on Me? I believe it's Lean on Me, where Joe Clark said If the parents don't know, then we'll bring the parents in and tutor them too. So even if you're talking to the kids at the AAU, that conversation needs to continue with the parents at home. So all of us need to be on one accord, tribe wise.
Yeah,
And for
yeah.
those listening who come from like New York City or come from a place where you barely drive, you take a lot of city transportation, and so you think you never need to change a tire, you never know where you're going to be living in 10 years or 5 years. You never know what life is going to take you. For example, when I got to South Carolina, I was driving a car and my tire blew. Me being from New York, I had no idea how to change a tire, like the lifestyle I was living. So that basic level of communication should be taught in all neighborhoods. We should all know how to do certain things innately to take care of ourselves. And that, but we have to all remember so many people make money off us being naive.
True.
I want to poll you real quick. I like to know the top three things you want in a woman. And the reason why I ask you this question is because there's always a word I feel that men leave out. So we can have a discussion whether you should put that in your top three or top 10, as long as you evaluate it, because it doesn't come guaranteed. Cupid, what is your top three things you want in a
Okay.
woman?
Thoughtfulness,
Thoughtfulness.
thoughtfulness, um, um, my fiance, likeness, like-mindedness. She likes to work out. I like to work out. She ran track in college. I ran track in college. So just, like-minded and God-fearing. God. And the reason why I say that, bro, is because when I met her, I remember when we first started dating, she hit me with the Bible app. And she was like, we're gonna do these little readings, and then we're gonna respond on them, every day. So I would get on Facebook and she would see me comment on Facebook and be like, that ain't what you're supposed to be doing at the beginning of the day. And a lot of times, man, we'll be going through some stuff, and then I'll read one of them little devotions and be like, oh. Or on her side, if she did something that she did wrong or came at me sideways and she reads something, she'll come back and be like, I understand, I was wrong because, this says. So that was a first for me, man. And I think that's like one of the most powerful things, because I know at the end of the day, she makes her decisions based on the goodness of what God wants us to do, you know?
And 1,000%, your answers are never wrong because they're subjugated towards you. I just wanted to grow the conversation and adding the word intelligence, because of how much we love the intelligence, and it's all different levels. There's emotional intelligence, a lot of intelligence, but we love speaking. I just want women to know we love speaking to you. We love hearing what you have to say. And intelligence is not guaranteed, but men value it a lot in their women. So I just wanted to always talk about that and make sure guys are looking for that, as well as what their top three is, right? And on top of that, and I want to commend your women for doing the work also, and accepting and doing the work. It's a lot of relationship things that people do not know how to accept the work, especially both coming from previous situations. You probably took those energies and applied it now to not make the same mistakes that you made this time, the next time around.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Let's stay right here in this vein. Let's stay right here. How much are you trying to understand communication though? Do you know her five love? You know the five love languages? Are you reading information? Like, I want to know, how much are you trying to understand your lady? Are you writing down the things that she likes and saying, you know what, I know she likes this. I know I'm gonna keep this in mind. Are you really getting to the communication between you and her?
Oh yeah. And we went through all of that stuff because we both been married before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like now we like understand, like we get it. And like love language is extremely important. But just the biggest part about a relationship, dog, is you gotta still be friends. Like it ain't nothing like when you dating a girl and she your home girl and you just kicking it, and then y'all doing y'all thing, but y'all just cooling in the fan, and then you get married to, or y'all get in a relationship, and then everything changed. Like that's what people mess up. Like that's my dog. Like that's my dog. Like that's my dog. I could run anything to. It's all good because we on that level. So it's like, for me, it's not like she's just like my fiance, and it's no different than when we was dating. I still like her, and I like her, and that is big to me. You gotta always still like that person, man.
Yo,
and that's where we at, man. That's my
I
one day.
a lot of people misconstrue love and like. Like is super important because the people you like, you kind of tolerate more for them to grow. If you just love them, you can fall out of love real quick. But like is hard to get rid of. When you really like
Yeah,
somebody,
that's
like
facts.
them. That's real. Let's keep the husband hat on real quick though. I have a question for you here, and thank you for sharing that knowledge information. There's no wrong answer for this question, but this is one of my favorite questions to ask people because I want to know the answer. And there's no wrong answer. It's subjugated towards you, but when you pick, I want to know why. As a husband, would you rather have a great woman or a great wife?
Oh, great wife. A great wife. I mean, because, bro, listen, dog, we've been on the road. The word woman is used very loosely. I mean, I've met every type of woman you can possibly imagine. Shape, size, languages, tricks, backflips, levitation, whatever you think about, I done seen it and been around it. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. But a great wife, like that means that she's committed to you and that's yours. That means I don't have to go pull out the Rolodex when it's time to make magic. And when I want to go on a date, I don't have to worry about pulling out the Rolodex and hoping you can make it and hoping you got the attitude that day and all that. Like mine, I'm good. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's very important, man, because when you say wife, man, that's a commitment, man. That's you. That's you and that person. And going through the rat race as we go through as entertainers sometimes, especially single ones, it just becomes monotonous. It's like, what else are you going to offer me? Yeah, you fine, you cute. Yeah, you look good in that outfit. Yeah, you got a lot of 10, 80,000 followers. But what can you do to stimulate me when you ain't got makeup on and we sitting in the crib and it ain't nothing to eat and we gonna go to the burger spot down the road? Are we still on that same path? Or do we gotta be like horizontal to love each other? You feel me? So
Hey, that's why I talk about that word intelligence, because emotional intelligence and all that stuff is where you need to be at. Yeah, well, we're gonna be horizontally lovers. That's a good one, man. I appreciate your answer very much, very much. Validation from your partner. It's like you win a championship when you meet the right woman. But Mr. Bryson, Cupid, I ask you, do you defend the title? And what I mean by that is, are you still becoming the best versions of yourself every day to make sure that you don't fall off?
got to, and we talked about that earlier.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm bro. Look, bro. Anybody who watching this, doggone well what's right and what's wrong. You don't play stupid. You know what you're supposed to do. You know what you ain't supposed to do.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about in that regard. I'm talking about, are you competing with the best versions of yourself to make sure she looks at you as the superhero you are? Are you still doing all the things? Because sometimes men get the woman and then they sit back and say, I got her. They don't do all the things.
Chicks do that too. Chicks do that too. Like, but I'm gonna say it like this. I have to, man. Like, like my fiance, like she's a personal trainer, bro. She's like a national champion hurdler, dog. Like, she big on like her fitness, how she looks, the things she do and say. And when she slip, I let her know. I'm like, yo, I'm not trying to hear this random attitude today because I didn't do nothing wrong. Now you could be mad and you could vent about it, but don't talk to me crazy. And I'm not gonna do the same to you. I could have a bad show, janky promoter. I'm not coming fussing at you. I'm gonna tell you about it, and I need you to hold me down and just listen to me. You feel me? So, yeah, man, I'm kind of like the guy she met and the guy when we started dating is the same guy. You know what I'm saying? I nothing changed, bro, because I didn't come at her fake too. I just kept it real. Like, this is what I do. This is who I am. This is my situation. So I'm constantly just trying to, I'm not going to say becoming a better version because I think I'm probably a great version, but I think I stay consistent because women love consistency from a man. And the minute you step off track, she knows something ain't right. So I stay consistent, bro.
Absolutely consistency. We're gonna talk about consistency a little bit later on. We got a few more questions to go, then I'm gonna let you go for the day. But I appreciate you coming on the show.
For sure, for sure.
We talk about leaving a legacy, being the best we can be, but we ignore major steps. Do you have a will?
Of course. Of
Talk to
course.
me about why you talk to me about why you think people in our community run from the conversation of a will or run from the conversation of having insurance.
Because that's, I ask myself, that's one answer I don't know. I know so many people, I'm paying for funerals almost 2-3 a year because they ain't got no insurance, man. But the will thing, with my royalties and the ownership of the things that I have, whether it's little or big, man, you have to be able to make sure that the right people get it. Because I've seen what not having a will can do to a family, to your kids, so on and so forth. So yeah, absolutely, bro.
Friend to the show, Cameron Wesley Sr. talks about our cultural counterparts doing investments on their parents and grandparents, taking out insurance on them in a high regard.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they fund their next generation of money and also fund forget the funeral. They pay for that quickly. But we're talking about $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 policies over their grandparents and their parents and their secure lineage. Why do you think our people look at death as death and not an investment?
Because it has a lot to do with religion, my man. A lot to do with you can't take it with you. So, whatever. A lot to do with that, bro. I mean, we were just taught just wrong for so many years, man. But all of the slave masters left a legacy. They left that plantation and a piece of that land to somebody. It was all blocked off. We were taught not to be able to do that. One, because we didn't have it to give. So I think, ancestrally, man, it's like we never been trained because we never really had. But once you're educated in it, man, I know some of the more current generations have been, doing that, man. That's what from the Abraham Lincoln to George Washington, all of them, that's all they've ever done. Is handed that down. That's how you be like, how he 25 in a 2-story home, and my mom had this land, and the rest.
Yeah.
So no doubt.
I think we're gonna get there soon enough. I think times are changing and we're all developing, but we all have to deal with nuances. But I think every generation was bamboozled at some point. Like the generation before us said, go to school and get a good job. Now this generation now is like, well, I don't need to go this way if I can go get it faster this way. If I know exactly what I'm doing, if school is not in the path, I won't subject myself to these loans, right? So now we're just growing and generational growing, and soon enough we'll be there. But we have to have the knowledge to know that these are investments that we need to hand down. So if you're listening to the show, look at death as an investment and invest in your parents and your grandparents. You're not putting a bounty over the head. You're securing the legacy and the wealth of your family, and you're becoming a new patriarch. So please just evaluate that situation. Look at our cultural counterparts, because for years they had a different recipe than what we have, and sometimes we have to change the flavor of our gumbo just a little bit. I came up with something called operating at 100%. And what I mean by that is I took 5 categories. That's purpose, health, confidence, money, and knowledge. Again, that's purpose, health, confidence, money, and knowledge. I gave them all 20%, adding up to 100%. Purpose meaning you're working your purpose every day, doing the things you love inside of your favor. Health means you're working out, meditating, eating right, praying. Confidence means you're doing it confidently without any intimidation, fear, or insecurities. Money is you made a little money today, saved a little money, invested a little money, paid some bills to a charity. Knowledge is you took in some new information. So, Mr. Cupid, I ask you, within the last 24 hours, how much of 100% have you been operating out of? Purpose, health, confidence, money, and knowledge, all 20% each.
Oh man, probably about not 100%, because 24 hours, to be direct, I just moved. So I'm spending all the money. Not working in my purpose at all. Stuff like that, like just getting the crib squared away. But on a typical day, man, I mean, again, balance is key. So I can tell you that on a typical day that I'm not doing anything outside of this, I'm operating 100% all the time. Because you got to be balanced in all of those aspects and to be able to be successful. Straight up, like what you do, the 5 you pick, man, you couldn't have picked it any better.
Well, it's actually, getting experience from the show. One person told me I should add a 6th, and we talked about this earlier, is consistency.
We just talked about that with women. Same thing with the job, with anything. You know, you can't water a flower once a month and expect it to grow. Gotta stay consistent.
Gotta stay consistent. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. You are now part of the Silhouette Boys Club. It is people like you who move in the shadows to help people like me shine. Now, before you go, we love to get referrals for the show. Is there any man you would like to have come on the show, drop these gems, and answer these questions in manhood?
Say that one more time. I lost you. Say that one more time.
I said, thank you, sir. You are now part of the Silhouette Boys Club. It is people like you who move in the shadows to help people like me shine. Now, before you go, is there any man you would love to come on the show and drop these solutions in manhood?
I do. My producer, Mr. Fat on the track, got another hidden deed, man. Mr. Fat. That's probably one of the smartest dudes I ever met in my life. If you think I got a few little gems, this boy here got a whole jewelry store, bro. He the real deal, bro.
You gotta connect. I can connect me with him. Yeah, let's connect, and I would love to have him on the show immediately, or whenever life opens up, because I am on a journey here, and I would love to hear from that brother.
Say less, man. When we get off of this, I'm gonna hit him up, and sometime tonight I'm gonna connect y'all too, bro. That's easy.
Absolutely. Before you go, please let the people know what you got going on, what you want them to know. At the barbecue is out. Everything is going, is flowing. Let us know what's up.
Follow me, official New Cupid on Instagram. I have my fragrance line, Bells and Bows. I'd love for y'all to order some and try it. And
where do we go for that?
Line. It's bellsandbows.com. That's bells with an E, B-E-L-L-E-S, and bows, B-E-A-U-X, the Louisiana style. I'll go to my website, New Cupid Online, and all that information is there. And look, I'm sorry, somebody that called me. And look, just keep on supporting the good. I appreciate your platform, my brother. And we definitely gonna stay in touch, man.
Absolutely, sir. I appreciate everything you've done today. Thank you for coming on the show. For those who are listening, you can reach me at soulutionsformen@gmail.com to be a guest on the show. Also at SheemOne on all platforms. Let's continue this conversation on Clubhouse, Facebook, Instagram, or in the street if you see me. We end today's show with a quote from Dr. Miles Monroe. True success is not measured by how much you have done or accomplished. It's not compared to what others have done or accomplished. True success is what you have done compared to what you could have done. In other words, living to the maximum is competing with yourself. It's living up to your own standards and capabilities. Success is satisfying your own personal passion and pursuit of personal excellence. Question of the day, question of your life. Are you maximizing your life? Ladies and gentlemen, this has been SOULutions. Cupid, we salute you and we thank you so very much.
Thank you, man.